Welcome to another episode of the Poe Underground Podcast. I am your host, D.K. Mckenzie. In today's episode, I have 5 musical poems I'd like to share with you. But before we launch into that, I just wanted to mention today's episode marks episode number 50. That being said, I wanted to do something special for this podcast. I wish I had more time to have worked on original music for this podcast. I did not, but I was able to put together a new piece for this episode, and I have a few remastered pieces I'd like to showcase on this episode. So without further ado, let's launch into this first piece, which is a poem written in 1925 by a poet named David Arkin. The name of this piece is called Deus Ex Machina, which is Latin for God from the Machine. Didn't really have much information on David Arkin, but I believe he is the David Arkin who was the father of the late actor Alan Arkin, who I really admired. If you don't know who Alan Arkin is, he played in quite a few movies, such as Glengarry, Glen Ross, Little Miss Sunshine, and a bunch of others. Oh, I just wanted to mention that this music comes from an unreleased EP that I had worked on. It's music for meditation and yoga, and I will probably be releasing that this year, and this is just a clip from that album, and let's launch into it. Hope you enjoy it. I yawned, and the moon fell into my mouth. I stretched and gripped the horizon. Oh, I grew taller than north to south. And whatever I set my eyes on would tremble under potent fears and hide itself from me. My might could humble all the spheres and twist eternity. I leaped about from sun to sun. The welkin skipped with ease. Around the zodiac I spun and raced the Pleiades. And then I felt a force in me. Each atom was a spinning clod. I knew a flame, infinity. I was the universe. I was God. And this second piece was featured on podcast number 17, which is called the Bad Woman Suite Remix. And that's all I'm going to say about it, and I hope you enjoy it and check it out. She might be the one you know, the one with the bomb, the one you're supposed to avoid at all costs and by all means. You should have gotten away clean, but now you might be caught between the grime and device. If you look close now, you might see that fuse running down. The wick is burning short, burning up and burning down. You just might be involved in the blast because you're too damn close. Until the detonation, she'll hold your hand. Right up until the demolition, she'll still make your meals. And just as the edifice falls, only then will you catch her fleeting smile as the conspiring sun sinks. A rapid change behind her eyes reveals she knew all along the day of reckoning would hammer down upon us. She guides me diligently through the ringer, through the fire, through the abattoir, laughing as I'm alive and catching fire. Welcome to the chopping block. My heart thunders in stark turmoil. My soul suffers in piercing sadness. These are the days of slaughter and shambles. She smiles. She is the one, daughter and butcher of fathers and sons, of pigs and men, of brothers and countrymen. She's leading me to my death, briskly and neatly, with great honor and zero repose. All there is and was death between us. Death the ocean and you the bridge. Death the opera and you the violins. And that was the Bad Woman Suite remix. This next piece is called American Asylum, which was featured on podcast number 14. According to my notes, I had put up I guess you would call it a remix, but it's more of a live version. It's a totally different mix. You could check it out, episode number 14. I don't believe I ever released this version on this podcast, which is from the first album of the Poe Underground, which is called Neptune Dreams of Venus. This is the that version on the album. It's called American Asylum. Check it out. Hope you like it. All of these people, possibly diseased, possibly carrying the contagion I warned you about, cracked and crazy pathogen outbreak, sweeping illnesses, a free-for-all for the germs. Virus exponentially leaping from one unbeknownst host to host, spreading nothing but apocalyptic fire. Safe inside while a quasi-black plague surges amok and rampant outside, threatening existence in the order of normalcy. Everything appears safe and quaint from the vantage point of this American asylum cage. This time, however, death is dressed in a grossly gray garb instead of black, so people are not compelled to run or freak. Death hides in plain sight in the nucleus of a riot. There he stands, masquerading as the stillness of the air. Pestilence jailbreak, germs unleashed. An invisible blade cuts the moon in halves. Black and green tea and more is what is needed to survive the corridor of summer. All the people don a mask. Those who escape quarantine, that is. Watch them dart feverishly from each other, rejoicing majestically. They are not infected, afflicted, or on their way to death. 2020, the year of the plague. This is the year of the final influenza. How many more years to live, I ask? Everything is one. Everyone is one. And this next piece is prose from the novel Heart of Darkness from Joseph Conrad. This is remastered. It was featured on episode 37. So check out the remastered version. Hope you like it. Dark human shapes could be made out in the distance, flitting indistinctly against the gloomy border of the forest. And near the river, two bronze figures leaning on tall spears, stood in the sunlight under fantastic headdresses of spotted skins, warlike and still in statuesque repose, and from right to left along the lighted shore moved a wild and gorgeous apparition of a woman. She walked with measured steps, draped in striped and fringed cloths, treading the earth proudly with a slight jingle and flash of barbarous ornaments. She carried her head high. Her hair was done in the shape of a helmet. She had brass leggings to the knee, brass wire gauntlets to the elbow, a crimson spot on her tawny cheek, innumerable necklaces of glass beads on her neck, bizarre things, charms, gifts of witchmen that hung about her, glittered and trembled at every step. She must have had the value of several elephant tusks upon her. She was savage and superb, wild-eyed and magnificent. There was something ominous and stately in her deliberate progress. And in the hush that had fallen suddenly upon the whole sorrowful land, the immense wilderness, the colossal body of the fecund and mysterious life seemed to look at her, pensive, as though it had been looking at the image of its own tenebrous and passionate soul. She came abreast of the steamer and stood still and faced us. Her long shadow fell to the water's edge. Her face had a tragic and fierce aspect of wild sorrow and of dumb pain mingled with the fear of some struggling, half-shaped resolve. She stood looking at us without a stir, and like the wilderness itself, with an air of brooding over an inscrutable purpose. A whole minute passed, and then she made a step forward. There was a low jingle, a glint of yellow metal, a sway of fringed draperies, and she stopped as if her heart had failed her. The young fellow by my side growled. The pilgrims murmured at my back. She looked at us all, as if her life had depended upon the unswerving steadiness of her glance. Suddenly, she opened her bared arms and threw them up rigid above her head, as though in an uncontrollable desire to touch the sky, and at the same time the swift shadows darted out on the earth, swept around on the river, gathering the steamer into a shadowy embrace. A formidable silence hung over the scene. And that was Heart of Darkness, ladies and gentlemen. And this last piece is called Soup of Shadows, which was featured on podcast episode 21. This is also a remastered version, and I hope you like it. Here it is. Today I sit by dark windows where no one can see me. None of it matters anyway because God has forsaken me and you probably as well. Today I dissolve into the soup of shadows where no one can detect me. But what does it matter? Even with bright lights on, you pass over me as God does too. So today I sink into the blackness and become one with darkness, where no one can detect me except maybe an owl or a famished rat. I live in a tundra of anguish. Friends as scarce as precipitation. Alone, I wander the badlands of extreme abandonment and betrayal. The voice of silence, my only companion. Bold lizards flash their forked tongues. Black scorpions scurry into the bush. I am doomed as the clock on the bomb counts backwards. No one will hear the blast except the little critters that flee. My life has become evasion. with a wee bit of deprivation, followed by the recent episodes of desertion. Spaces expanding, the walls recede away from me, leaving a great expanse of nothingness. Year after terrible year, the awful rule of the Benjamins never relent on our endless pursuit of them. We warily stuff our pockets with the bloodied green so we may live to see another day. And that is it for today's podcast of the Poe Underground. I hope you enjoyed these 5 pieces. In March, I will be producing new music, and so come back in a couple of weeks, and we'll see you then. D.K. Mckenzie signing off. Take care.